Steve Carter here, your host for the Weird and Surprising Facts podcast, the podcast where you can listen and always have something cool to share. In odd news, let us go to UPI.com. From UPI, dated January 25, 2024, headline, California man collects 1,136 hotel key cards, and that earns him the world's record. This article by Ben Hooper from UPI.com. This California man, well, he's been traveling frequently since the 1990s, and he has earned the Guinness World Record for his collection of 1,136 hotel keycards. His name, Morten Sorensen from Livermore, and he started this rather odd practice in the 1990s when he began traveling for business. When he discovered that hotels, or most hotels, allowed him to keep his key card as a souvenir, well then a World Guinness record was born. Coyotes. Continuing with UPI.com. Coyote with head stuck in bucket rescued in San Diego. The San Diego Humane Society, well, they came to the rescue of a coyote who got stuck in a bucket, the bucket over his head, in a debris-filled, flooded field. Humane law enforcement officers were called to rescue what they initially thought was a dog stranded in the flooded field in San Diego, but they found it was a coyote with a plastic bucket over its head. They took the coyote to the Bod Wildlife Center, where vets sedated the animal and successfully removed the bucket. The coyote will be rehabilitated at the Ramona Wildlife Center and then returned to the wild. Continuing on with animal rescue. From UPI.com, raccoon stuck upside down in sewer grate rescued. January 24, the animal rescuers, along with firefighters in Ontario, they came to the rescue of a raccoon found stuck upside down in a sewer grate. Initial efforts to pull the raccoon free, they didn't quite work as expected. Those initial efforts were by police officers, so they ended up calling the Guelph Fire Department and asking for help. Firefighters, they were able to lift the grate so the Humane Society officers could transport the animal to the shelter for care. So, good work by all involved, and I'm sure the raccoon is more than happy to be set free from that upside-down situation. Let us turn to some odd and kind of weird facts about our bodies. We know that there is iron in our bodies. As a matter of fact, the human body contains enough iron to produce a 3-inch long nail. So the next time you need to hammer in something and you don't have a nail, well, maybe a little bit of your blood might do the trick. Let's have a look at the stomach lining. Did you know your stomach lining replaces itself every 3 to 4 days? Why? Because if it didn't, your stomach would digest itself. Yes, your stomach lining is replaced every 3 to 4 days to prevent your stomach from digesting itself. We all know about the magic of DNA and its importance. Did you know that if you stretch the DNA in a single human cell and you unraveled that DNA and laid it end to end, it would measure about 6 feet long. If all of your DNA in a single cell were unraveled and laid end to end, it would measure about 6 feet long. As we mentioned, your stomach lining replaces itself every 3 to 4 days. So does your skin. You shed and regrow an entire outer layer of skin every 27 days, and that is about 1,000 new skins in an average lifetime. Food and water, essential for life. As a matter of fact, the human body can survive without food for about 3 weeks, but your body can only survive 3 to 4 days without water. Ah, the human body, what a magnificent gift we are given. You may not think saliva is a gift, but indeed it is. The human body produces about 25,000 quarts of saliva in a lifetime, and that's enough to fill about 2 swimming pools. I know as a human being, sometimes I do like to monkey around, and as it turns out, that may be in my DNA. Humans share 98.7% of their DNA with chimpanzees, and those chimps, they are our closest living relative. Speaking of gifts for the human body, your bones are stronger than steel. Your bones are stronger than steel, with 1 cubic inch of bone able to bear a load of 19,000 pounds. 1 cubic inch of bones is able to bear a load of 19,000 pounds. We've talked about the regeneration of our skin and our stomachs. How about your liver? The human liver has the incredible ability to regenerate itself, and it can continue functioning even if 75% of the liver tissue is removed. Let us give a big round of applause for our liver. So there you have it, some weird and surprising facts for this episode. I encourage you to share some of these weird and surprising facts with friends and family. They are going to think you are a fact genius. If you are not yet subscribed or you're not following to the Weird and Surprising Facts show, I encourage you to do that. You can, of course, subscribe or follow where you get your podcasts. When you follow, you will never, ever, ever miss an episode. If you would like to be in touch, email me at cartermethod@gmail.com. Until our next visit together, your host, Stephen Carter, wishing for you and your loved ones blessings in abundance.